Hey everybody, it's Mark from ImmuneNow.com, and we're here to talk about how to protect the heart of your immune system. Now, a lot of people have been sending in questions about whether or not ImmuneNow really works. So we want to dive into this and give you a reason to believe, because right now everybody's in lockdown. In fact, I am making this video for you right now in isolation. So everything that is on the top of people's minds has to do with the immune system, with immunity. But what is immunity? So let's dive in. The immune system and your gut, they're not separate. That's just a fallacy. They're one and the same. It's not that over 70% of your immune system is built around your gut. The truth is your immune system does not exist without the non-human bacteria and yeast, that's candida, that populate the inner lining of your gut. When I say non-human, by the way, I mean these are independently living cells using your body, your gut, as their host. These truly are, in a very real sense, aliens. These are aliens living inside of you. And the aliens you're made the most of determine your health, they determine your happiness, and yeah, they determine your immunity. So the heart of your immune system is the small intestine. That's where we need to focus. That's where digested food is passed into the bloodstream, where it can be used for nutritional fuel. But what else is getting in there? Now, a lot of people think that they're human, and we are in a sense, but your body is made up of more alien stuff than human stuff, believe it or not. So when you know that, and you make that acknowledgement that you have more alien cells than human cells in your body, whose health do you really think you need to be focusing on? Yours or theirs? And while the answer is always both, absolutely, you have to put out the burning house. You have to send in the firefighters before you can send in the paramedics. In other words, you have to combat the overgrowth of bad aliens before you can support the good aliens in helping your immune system thrive. Now, the ideal ratio of bacteria is 15% bad and 85% good. However, with the widespread usage of things like antibiotics, that ratio has turned upside down for hundreds of millions of people all around the planet. And it's been made worse by stress, processed foods, tap water, toxic cosmetics, environmental toxins, and that's just to name a few things. So it's not a matter of supplementing with probiotics like a lot of people are telling you, especially in advertising. In fact, why would you take probiotics, which can actually negatively rev up your immune system without getting rid of the bad bacterial candida infection first? Again, you have to put out the fire. You have to send in the paramedics. I'm sorry, the firefighters, before you can send in the paramedics. Now, a lot of people are asking us when they're calling in, do immune supplements really work? Because there's a lot of them and there's a lot of hype. So the short answer is yes. But the longer answer is only if the supplements have alive nutrients and those nutrients are bioavailable. Bioavailable simply means that they can get into your cells where they can do their work. And quite frankly, supplements only work if you're deficient in the nutrients you're trying to replenish. If you're not deficient, you won't feel it. But when you are deficient, not only can you feel it, but it can have a spectacular effect, positive effect in your life and in your body. Now, this man right here is Anthony Pachetti. He invented the time release method. The first products to have time release were Contact and Geritol. So you can thank him for your 12-hour cold medicine. But he said supplements are meant to supplement an already ideal healthy diet. Supplements don't cure. They don't heal anything, ever. Anybody who tells you different in the supplement industry is lying to you, and that's just the reality. All they can do, all supplements can do, is, well, supplement your diet and nutrition, your diet with nutrition, I'm sorry, that you're not getting enough of. And that's if you're getting it at all. When you aren't getting enough of certain nutrients, your immune system can't help but be stressed and even breaking down. So how much raw food does it take to get the gut support you need for your immune system to thrive? Well, it's a lot of food, and most people can't eat that much, nor do they want to eat that much raw, whole foods. That's why we created ImmuneNow, so that you can get these nutrients in a single therapeutic dose. ImmuneNow was specifically formulated by top doctors to meet the demand of this new era of shutdown, of pandemic, of quarantine, self-quarantining, and airborne infections. And with all of the immune support supplements on the market, most of them don't work. How do you actually know what works and why? Before we get into that, this is a critical thing to understand, that right now, people who have infections that get into the blood, they typically end up dealing with it with antibiotics. The problem is we're in the era of antibiotic resistance. Right now, about 350,000 people are dying a year in the United States, and that number is only going to be rising. By the year 2050, about 10 million people worldwide will die from just basic infections like a cold or a flu. And that's because we've taken too many antibiotics, and the bacteria and yeasts in our gut have adjusted. They've developed what's known as a biofilm that actually resists antibiotics and makes it virtually impossible for them to work. And we know that when we see Big Pharma not producing any new antibiotics, because they know that market is dead. So if you can't treat infections anymore with antibiotics, that means you really have to make sure that your body is prepared to deal with these infections if they get into your bloodstream, or prevent them from getting into your bloodstream in the first place, which again, we'll talk about later. Now, one of the specific things that you do absolutely want to avoid is eating livestock raised with antibiotics. Eating antibiotic raised livestock is like getting constantly dosed with little atomic bombs, because when you take antibiotics, that's what it does. It's like exploding an atomic bomb in your gut. It gets rid of everything, like chemotherapy. It gets rid of everything, good or bad, but unfortunately the bad guys tend to move in way faster. In fact, did you know that a candida cell is about 100 times larger than a good bacteria cell? So they take up a lot of room and they can take over quickly. And when your healthy balance of good and bad bacteria keeps getting disrupted, if you're eating these types of antibiotic raised livestock or meats, it continues to malfunction your immune system. And did you also know that antibiotic grain-fed meats are typically way higher in omega-6s? Those are your pro-inflammatory fatty acids. So in essence, every bite of this omega-rich meat increases your inflammation and depletes your immune system, allowing more of these airborne infections to get into your blood and spread the infection. Whereas grass-fed meats are high in omega-3s, which are your anti-inflammatory, anti-aging fatty acids. So you want to get as many of those as possible. Again, it's sometimes not eliminating certain foods, just changing the source of where you get those foods so that you're getting the purest form of them, and also not getting low dosed with more antibiotics than more rounds of antibiotics than you probably, well, you ever knew you took. Now, why does ImmuneNow work? The ingredients in ImmuneNow, which we're going to get into in a minute, were specifically chosen for their mechanism. So there's a specific reason why they work in your body, in your gut. There's a purpose to them. There's a purpose to every single nutrient, and how they symbiotically work together to neutralize virus, neutralize bacteria, candida, but then also help eliminate them out of your body, and then restore the gut lining. So let's get into that a little bit. How does ImmuneNow shift the scales? How do we get rid of the overgrowth of bad guys, of the bad aliens, so that they aren't mostly populating your gut lining, so you can get back to that ideal ratio we talked about, where you had 85% good guys to only 15% bad guys. And by the way, you need that 15% because they help break down food and help you digest and help you actually get more nutrition out of your food. But when they overgrow, the exact opposite happens. In fact, did you know that bad bacteria and candida can actually brainwash you into telling you what you want to eat, like ice cream, cookies, cakes, pasta, pizza, lots and lots and lots of chips, lots and lots of snacks, foods that are high in sugar and only grow the bad guys and help them take over or further what's known as dysbiosis. That's when you have more bad bacteria than good guys. So we sourced some of the best ingredients on this planet to help your body restore true immunity from the inside out. Step one is called monolaurin. That's derived from raw young coconuts. It's one of the most powerful nutrients on the planet. It's like it spins a web around pathogens, virus, infections, bad bacteria, candida, and it neutralizes them. That's the neutralizing part of the mechanism why ImmuneNow works. Now, after we neutralize the bad aliens, we need to eliminate them from the body so they're no longer stressing your immune system. So we added the most powerful form of magnesium, magnesium oxide, which helps eliminate all of these dead infections out of your body, and it does it in a subtle way. It doesn't overpower you. It helps you eliminate and have a healthy elimination, not where you have diarrhea or IBS-like symptoms. Step three, we need to restore the integrity of the gut lining. So we added some of the most scientifically proven ingredients, nutrients on the planet, L-glutamine, inulin, zinc, and ginger to restore the protective wall of the gut while also infusing some antioxidants into your system. Antioxidants neutralize free radicals. Free radicals create oxidative damage and inflammation. That's how, once again, our gut can become hyperpermeable or leaky. That's how things other than digested food get into our system, like viruses, like pathogens, like poisons from the environment. So we want to make sure and shore that up. Now, are there any side effects to this? The answer is no. However, you will likely experience something called die-off. If you have an overgrowth of bad bacteria and candida in your system, when those aliens die, you are going to feel it, especially if you have a severe overgrowth problem. But that's not a bad thing. It's a very good thing. And the best part is it wears off quickly. As someone who uses these nutrients on a daily basis, I have experienced die-off symptoms. But the very next day, it's like the clouds part and the sunshine shines through and who I really am shines through. So don't be afraid of die-off symptoms. That's when you might feel a little more brain fog than normal, maybe a little bit of fatigue. But again, then the next day and all that breaks through, all that energy that you never knew you had just starts to show itself and you're just wowed by it. It's really a spectacular process. All of our supplements at ImmuneNow are made in an FDA facility where every batch is watched like a hawk. That also limits the amount of production we can make. However, it ensures that every single bottle that is shipped out of our FDA facility is at maximum potency and effectiveness. And that is hugely important. And likewise, we've sourced all of our ingredients. They are the highest quality ingredients to make sure that they are 100% bioavailable. So they actually work. And you're not just putting dead substances into your body that actually compound the problem instead of actually help you, which is what you're investing in. Now, I remember my grandfather, Anthony Pachetti, he said the best way to treat a health problem is preventing it from ever happening. And wow, it's so true. That's why you have to be your own doctor in this day and age, especially since antibiotics aren't going to help you if you get infections. We don't truly realize how awful being sick is until we're sick. That's why we have to be our own doctors again. And when we are our own doctors, we don't need to go see the actual doctor. So if you're worried about investing in protecting your gut and immune system, don't be. It really does cost way more money to be sick than it costs to be healthy. Now, here are 3 things other than taking ImmuneNow that you can start doing today to protect your gut and protect your immune system from airborne infections. Firstly, I'm as big a fan as alcohol as anyone. But after it accelerates you, it depresses your immune system. And yeah, alcohol is a huge social lubricant, but it's also a big time coping mechanism for a lot of people. So it's not a matter of completely eliminating alcohol, but coping in healthier ways. By the way, when you feel better, you feel less need, less angst, less urge to quote unquote cope. And you start coping in healthier ways. It's a matter of getting addicted to feeling good and knowing your immune system has your back. Now, alkaline water, this is tip number 2, is hugely important because most of us eat very acidic diets, and viruses can easily multiply in your bloodstream in an acidic, low oxygenated environment. Oh, by the way, plus when you do take ImmuneNow, you absolutely want to drink plenty of alkaline water to further help flush out all those dead toxins that we talked about in the eliminate phase. And lastly, you want to move your body. I'm not talking about pumping iron or spending hours at the gym, which we can't do anyways during lockdown. I'm talking about doing low impact exercises like yoga, running in place on a 1-person rebounder or trampoline. It really helps oxygenate your system, separate those blood cells, help them be vibrant, separate, luminescent, flowing. That's what oxygenation looks like. Just a quick story, before my mom got Alzheimer's and died from the disease, she did my blood cell analysis. She also did before and after jumping on a mini rebounder. Now, before rebounding, people's red blood cells would be all glommed together. They look like slinkies. They call it rulated. But after jumping for just a few minutes, all the cells would be separate, vibrant, again, free-flowing, luminescent, just glowing. So don't think for a second that that something as simple as going on a walk isn't worth your time. It is, and your body will thank you for it. So right now, you're kind of at a crossroads. You can keep going down the same path and hope everything works out. Hope the world gets off a shutdown and you don't got to worry about wearing masks and you could just go back to living life as usual. But, at the end of the day, this is not going to go away. This is changing the way that we're living. This is changing the way that we're coexisting as human beings on this planet. So you can take the other path and try ImmuneNow and live your life outside among people with complete confidence, no matter when the shutdown ends, because those fears aren't going to go away, and they shouldn't go away because this virus isn't going away and it will continue to mutate. So take every step that you can now to make sure that you're protecting your gut, that you're neutralizing, eliminating, and restoring. Those are the critical parts of immunity. Of course, when you purchase and use ImmuneNow, the real proof is in your personal results. So if for any reason at all you don't feel like ImmuneNow is giving you the results I promised you here, then you can call or email us for an instant refund, no questions asked. You either get results or your money back. It's that simple. So this is truly an investment into your health that you can feel good about, knowing that if everything that we've said doesn't hold true for you, you don't pay a thing. You get all of your money back. It's that simple. So the most important thing to me is making sure the people I love, my family, my friends, they're taken care of. And I know I have to take care of myself first and foremost before I can help anyone. I also make sure that I get ImmuneNow into other people's hands that I do love, so that we can all live happily, healthy, confident together, knowing that we're more protected than everyone else that's likely around us. But going through the process of neutralizing and eliminating your alien overgrowth problem together gives everyone the peace of mind and knowing my immune system is ready now for anything that comes our way, and obviously including what's happening right now. So thanks for watching. Feel free to comment below with any more questions, and have a blissfully healthy day. If you would like to order, get ImmuneNow.com.